Yo, hello, and welcome to more Tsukihime. So, where we left off, we had like our bug metaphor here, like the insects giving me the command to kill. Um, yeah, shit is fucked up. So we followed Akia, and apparently she's out in these streets. We're following her. We found a body in the alley that was still alive. All right, Akia, but yeah. So last time it's so funny. I think Matt, you're the one who said that it's kind of like I speed ran Akiya's route because he's over here confessing when we of course Shiki in this route is so focused on this aspect of him returning, which is to return the ribbon, especially what he knows now about Kohaku and like knowing their switch. Like he's so invested in this route, right? So he's choosing that, essentially rejecting Akiya, after her confessing. And we've kind of seen like how she was talking to Kohaku. Yeah, she was kind of it's scary, man. Even the way she's been acting, it's kind of like it was weird. This is different, and then we've kind of got hints at that at the beginning of the route, or even just the prologue of just like choices with Kohaku, where she's like making sure Akiya's not around. Akiya just snapping on Kohaku when she finds them together, like slapping her. Like it's like it's sad too, because it's like we know how Akiya feels about Shiki, and like for her to feel him slipping, Shiki, the one for her that's kind of she's held on to the memories of him and them being together since they were kids. That's kind of what's kept her going all this time. Like she made it so he could kindly finally come back, inviting him back, and like we know what this means to her. Like we've done her route, we know this. So to see that like slipping from her is scary, but it's a bit sad too. Yeah. It's fucked up, man. Also, I also agree with y'all saying pretty much that it's very nice that Shiki's being very proactive this route about finding things out 100%. It makes sense for the progression of the routes for sure, because this being the last one, it's like, okay, do we really need to like delay like learning things this time? Of course not. So it's cool to like kind of tie that into his character and make him be like, I'm gonna find shit out, and him putting things together, tricking Hisui, testing her to like confirm that Kohaku was the one who made the promise by the tree. That was like 200 IQ Shiki. He's doing it, man. But the thing is, like, he still has to tell Kohaku that he knows, right? We know how important that is. But after Hisui kind of, excuse me, I hit my mic's wire. Hopefully that didn't break your ears. But after like Hisui was like, don't tell Kohaku, like I don't want that happiness of hers to be destroyed, and which we know is not really a thing, but we understand why Hisui feels that way. In the grand scheme, it's better for Shiki to tell her and for things to end, but we're still not quite there yet, so that's kind of just in the air as well. But yeah, we just gotta see how things turn out, how Shiki can deal with his impulses, what Akiya is going to do. It's a bit of a scary thought, and I don't know. We just have to see. So that's pretty much where we're at now. And yeah, let's continue. Shaking off the insects from the back of my neck, I escape to my room. Fucking Zoken. Leaning my back against the wall, I catch my breath. I can't control myself. Just what's different between Shiki and the way I am now? No, that isn't really important. Why couldn't I understand her? Kohaku-san. The word in Makihisa's journal. The word synchronizer. Kohaku and Hisui weren't adopted, they were just brought here as tools. The meaning. I didn't know the meaning of what it meant by being Makihisa's servant. I didn't even try to understand. Every day without end, Akiya said that. I don't have to think too hard about what Makihisa did. If Makihisa was subject to the same violent urges as me, I understand all too clearly what he must have done. Always. That girl was always by the window, not knowing how to leave or even how to beg for help. Makihisa had no sympathy for Kohaku still being a little girl. It was written in the journal. Makihisa only saw Kohaku as a tool, just like a child, placing all his emotions onto her. That girl would perpetually just stare at us while we played in the garden. I can't condemn Makihisa. Yes, the fuck you can. I also tortured her more than Makihisa. Hisui said it, that Kohaku-san always wanted to become Hisui. I can't even imagine it. That girl being locked in the mansion ever since childhood. Looking down at us playing behind that clear wall of a window every day. Despite this, she gave me something important to her as I left. After that, for the sake of her younger sister, she began smiling in her own play. A terrible farce. Only inside the play, even she knows is a lie. All she can do is laugh. What a terrible thing I've done. Thinking that Kohaku-san was Hisui, I've spoke to her about my memories of the past. The day of the welcome party. While cooking with Kohaku-san, I spoke so happily about memories with Hisui. Yeah, it's cause it hurt to read too. She said she didn't feel pain when she cut her finger. Foolish. My chest constricts. I can't breathe. Hold on, let me fix this. Myself that wants to kill Akiya. Myself that couldn't even understand what was going on. Sorry, Kohaku-san. My consciousness wavers. My body enters a stupor. For the first time, I want to kill myself using my ability. Jesus. What? Whoa. Whoa, what the fuck? I was like, what's about to happen here? Yeah. Akiya-sama, won't you call a doctor? Is this Hisui or Kohaku? That is pointless. He isn't sick. He won't get better unless we take away what's causing it. Oh dear. Akiya and Hisui are talking. We're at this point, okay. This is Shiki's room. It looks like I am sleeping on the bed. I try to get out of bed, but I can't move at all. My body is heavy like lead. All I can move freely are my mouth and eyes. For an instant, I think I am still dreaming. You failed, Hisui. I told you to pay attention to Nissan today, right? I can't even trust you to take care of Nissan like this. I am very sorry. If you want to apologize, apologize to Nissan. Apologizing to me will just make me angry. I don't understand why they're like that, but I understand that Hisui is being scolded because of me. Akiya-sama, I cannot help Shiki-sama if he collapses. Please give Nissan my duty. That won't do. I can't let Kohaku near Nissan. You shouldn't either. Be with Kohaku every time she's here and never let her alone with Nissan. Jesus. But Akiya-sama, Shiki-sama's condition is getting worse. If he does not receive medicine from Nissan, he will not even be able to stand. That is true, but that's better for me. Jesus, Akiya. Oh, she's not even holding it back. Akiya murmurs this as she ponders. Hisui, tell Nissan to skip school for a few days when he wakes. He has not been well the past few days, so do not let him out of the room until he gets better. I will contact his school. I can no longer see Akiya's figure. A subdued Hisui is the only one in the room. Shiki-sama, are you awake? I'm surprised. Akiya didn't even realize it, but Hisui must have known I was awake. Yeah, I woke up just a little bit ago. Sorry. Because of me, Akiya was mad at you. No, it was only natural for her to be angry. I did not realize that you had collapsed, Shiki-sama. Jeez, I'm used to it. And what's with Akiya wanting me to skip school? I'm fine, so I don't really need intensive care or anything. Shiki-sama, about that, can you not do as she tells you to do? Huh? You mean not going to school tomorrow? Hisui nods. She looks as if she is not worried about being scolded by Akiya. Rather, she is really concerned over me. Ooh, I can't say no to those eyes. I understand. I'll rest from school tomorrow. Is that acceptable? Hisui gives a weak, apologetic smile. Well then, please excuse me. If anything happens, please call for me. Hisui disappears with a bow. The instant I become alone, sleepiness assails me. In all seriousness, there does seem to be something wrong with my body. I'm trying to stay awake, but it's no use. Staring at the pattern on the ceiling, I easily fall asleep. Nine origami. Okay. Why is there this much sadness? I don't understand the reason. Whatever happens to anyone, it is their fate. It's not something that I can receive as a stranger. Neither pain, nor happiness, nor feelings, nor flesh. It's not that I'm sad. So why this relentless regret? Even though I never knew about that girl. Even though I only looked at her now. For me, there isn't a connection between the two. So why? After thinking of the past I did not see until now, why does my chest feel like it is tearing apart? Hey, I wonder what is the most miserable. That moonlit night. The killer I happened to meet that one night asked that question. That was just one of the many rambling and meaningless scenes. How did I respond? Sadness is easy to see and happiness is hard to understand. To find miserable situations, you have to look way down. If being miserable is living a life so painful and full of suffering that makes you wish you were dead, then it would mean that it was better if you were never born. As for me, I thought the saddest thing was to never have been born. After I said that, the killer laughed. After laughing so hard, he said something along the lines that I was really a nice guy. What is misery? Not even realizing your misery and mistaking it for happiness, I think. I remember nodding to that. That really can't be helped. Not being able to think that you're miserable. The only thing that is granted to them will be that sympathy is meaningless. Believing the illusion that she's happy, she will live a laughable life. As a stranger that can't feel her pain, I agreed that kind of misery was the worst. Gosh, that conversation applied to Kohaku. I slowly wake up for no apparent reason. The combination of the cool breeze and the sunlight streaming from the window feels great. The weather is simply exquisite. It's not the kind of weather to spend all day in bed. I lift my upper body. Still no good. My arms are still sluggish. It's not like I can stand up, but I probably won't be able to walk. I hear the gentle rhythm of knocking. God, my shoulder is tense. Please excuse me, Shiki-sama. How are you feeling? I feel fine. I bet I'll be able to move by evening. I kind of remember saying that last night, but it should be fine this time. Shiki-sama, may I ask you a question? What is it? Shiki-sama, while you were living with the Arima family, did you ever collapse like this before? Hisui's voice is weak. He seems worried that my declining condition is due to me coming back here. You don't need to feel responsible, Hisui. This happened to me while I lived with the Arimas. Well, maybe once a year during middle school, but that stopped once I entered high school. But I was ready thinking that if it was going to come, it should be pretty soon. Did you recover quickly at those times? In a day or two, so it's not a big deal. You act like I have some serious illness or something. Shiki-sama, I think it is a serious illness. I have heard that you have anemia, but nothing like this. Have you never thought that your body was strange? My doctor always says my body is just totally weird. Come to think of it, collapsing like this and recovering so quickly, I could say my strength is much more amazing than most people's. I tried to laugh it off and made her angry. Shiki-sama, people whose strength is much more amazing do not have many fevers during the night. Do you remember how many times you had a fever last night? Did something happen? It was last night. As soon as you fell asleep, you had a fever. You began to sweat profusely and I had to come check on you every hour. If I do say so myself, that's amazing. It is amazing, but I am a bit embarrassed to have been such a burden to her. Figured get some water. Huh? Come to think of it, these are different pajamas than I wore last night. Hisui, did Kohaku-san change my clothes? No, Akiya-sama did it herself. Last night, Akiya-sama and I took turns caring for you. After you calmed down this morning, Akiya-sama returned to her room. Akiya did? As I blurt this out, I flash back to what I saw yesterday. Akiya who was sucking Kohaku-san's blood. Akiya who was yelling at Hisui. Shiki-sama? I vaguely hear Hisui's voice. Maybe I showed my tension on my face. It's nothing. I see Akiya took care of me, huh? Yes, she would come every hour and take care of you. Since I was unable to contact you physically, it was very fortunate that Akiya-sama came. How stupid of me. Akiya was so worried about me, but what did I think about her? Thanks, Hisui. Please tell Akiya thanks too. Yes. Well then, Shiki-sama, I will bring you breakfast, so please wait a moment. Hisui leaves the room and I lift myself up. Leaning my back against the wall, I take a deep breath. Any of y'all ever had breakfast in bed? Like, I've always seen that in, like, media. Or just, like, in cartoons and stuff, like when I was a kid. But I don't know, that just sounds very, like, cumbersome. Like, to eat a whole meal, like, just sat in front of you in bed. Like, you can't really move the thing off you until you finish your food. I don't know, like, maybe I'm just too claustrophobic for that, but I feel like it's just, let me, like, I guess if you're, like, laid up in a hospital and you physically can't move, you don't have much of a choice, but I don't know. I guess I'm speaking more to if that's not the case. Well, it's probably the case where most people have it happen. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Hisui leaves the room and I lift myself up. Leaning my back against the wall, I take a deep breath. My body has gotten a little better and the weather outside is excellent. To add to that, I am truly happy that Hisui and Akiya took care of me last night. Still, I feel down. I haven't seen Kohaku-san since yesterday. I know that if I see her face, I won't be able to talk to her normally. But still, I just want to see her face. It passes noon and the sun starts its dip from the top of the sky. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna work out. Akiya's gonna be like... I don't know what Akiya's gonna do, man. I'm honestly fucking terrified. Especially if she catches us, or Hisui and Kohaku together again. Yeah, it's gonna be... Yeesh, okay. My condition does not improve, but it doesn't get worse either. Not knowing what to do, I just stare out the window. Even though I try not to think, one person pops into my mind. I know the killer Shiki has to be dealt with, but I'm thinking of Kohaku-san. A solid knock at the door. Nissan, it is me, can I come in? Akiya's voice. I don't really have any reason to avoid her. Obviously I'm concerned about yesterday, but it didn't look like she hated Kohaku-san, and it might be something she has to do. Those of the tonal blood need synchronizers. Akiya isn't hurting her like my old man did, so I should keep quiet about it for now. You don't need to ask me. Come on in. Yes, excuse me, Nissan. Akiya enters my room. Akiya, what about school? It's not even 1 o'clock, right? I took off today. If you are suffering, I should not leave, right? Gotta keep an eye out for Kohaku. With a smile, Akiya comes over to my bed. I will take your temperature, so please put this in your mouth. After that, we need to change your sheets, so can you get up for just a moment? She sticks the thermometer in my mouth. It looks like she came in place of Hisui. After checking my temperature, she smartly changes my sheets and gets out a fresh set of pajamas. Come to think of it, Kohaku-san was efficient too, but she didn't have Akiya's air of swiftness. Even though Kohaku-san is relaxed normally, she probably has things ordered so there's nothing unnecessary done. All finished. Nissan, please lay down. Still standing, I steal a glance out the window. Ah, Kohaku-san is gathering the fallen leaves with her broom in the garden. I could probably say hi from here, so... Uh-oh. Nissan, I have finished putting new sheets on your bed. Eh? Sorry. I spaced out a little. I sluggishly lie back down on my bed. I don't think Shiki realizes how serious this is yet. Oh god. Sitting down on a chair, she starts to peel an apple rather clumsily. With an intense look on her face, she intently works the knife, but sometimes she uses too much strength and the knife almost flies toward my bed. Uh-huh. Is she practicing to be a good housewife? She's practicing something. I wish she would do such dangerous things in the kitchen. Akiya, you don't have to force yourself. Indirectly, I tell her not to do things she's not good at. Akiya, a little dissatisfied, puts down the apple and the knife on the floor. On the floor? Seeing her with the plate and fork, it's obvious that she was going to do something she's not good at. Despite the result, I'm happy for Akiya's care. But it's funny, so I start to laugh. Hey, what is so funny, Nissan? I did not do anything to make you laugh. I was just thinking that this is just like back then. When I was sick as a child, you used to clumsily take care of me back then too. Yeah, I remember. When I was still living as an adopted child. When I was playing with Akiya, I caught a fever and collapsed. I was resting in that detached house after that, but Akiya escaped the mansion to come care for me. It sure brings back memories. At first you just held my hand, but you started to try and take care of me. At the end you even took some empty syringes and were going to inject me, right? I regret it now, but it's the truth I cannot take back. No kidding. If Jinan-san hadn't realized it and stopped you, I probably would have died. Shout out to that person we never met and apparently was another, like, I don't know, maybe another servant at the mansion. Incidentally, Jinan-san was the assistant of the family doctor. Thank you. Never mind then. After that time, he became my personal physician. Ah. Jinan-sensei? Come to think of it, even though you didn't like doctors, you always ended up losing to him. Of course. That person is a mad doctor. If you disobey him, he'll pay you back twice as much. Do you understand how scary that is? Who knows, Akiya says as she smiles. She knows it. I'm being so scared of Akiya. She knows it doesn't concern her and she isn't being cute at all. Speaking of doctors, when did Kohaku-san get her pharmacist license? He seems to be very close to our age, but doesn't that sort of thing have an age limit? That is true, but it is father's doing. We don't know the exact date of Kohaku and Hisui's birth, so father did a little manipulation of the documents and made her older. Whoa. As expected of a rich man, his methods are a bit illegal. True. But I think that Hisui is about your age. Kohaku and Hisui are twins, so that would naturally make her around your age, right? No way. Kohaku-san and I the same age? Well, it's not like I really gave it much thought, but I always felt she was older. Well, she certainly doesn't act older, but I never thought of her as the same age. I mean, that sounds about right. Because if that's true, then from when Kohaku-san was 8 or 9, Tonomake... I know, man. I know. It's just... Crack. I imagine a crack in my body. Nissan, what is wrong? Are you feeling alright? Nah, it's nothing. No need to worry. After all, this is just a brief pain. There is a need to worry. Sweating like that, you seem like you will collapse any moment now. Dude, this VN is so fucking uncomfortable, man. I swear, if Tanner ever plays this, or Arukana play this, goddamn dude, it's just... It's so much. But compared to Kohaku-san, compared to that, this pain is nothing. I really want to see Kohaku-san after all. I don't know what I will say after I meet her, but I have to see her and do something. There we go, come on. I still haven't fulfilled my promise from 8 years ago. Exactly, come on, let's do that shit. This isn't the time for me to be lazing around here. Just like that, suddenly my dizziness comes to a complete stop. How is that? Have you calmed down? Akiya is placing her palm on my forehead. Her cool fingers. It seems the cool sensation has doused away my dizziness like soothing water. Nissan, how are you feeling? Didn't I already tell her? Her eyes are dead serious. Her gaze seems to be asking something different. Fine, I will just have to investigate myself. After saying this, she lowers her hand from my forehead. Her palm smoothly glides down to the top of my shirt. Doesn't seem like there's anything wrong in particular, but your fluctuating temperature might be due to me simply not being used to it. Murmuring to herself, she draws back her hand. Nissan, you have a normally healthy body, but you have anemia like this very often. You ever think that is strange? Yeah, well, the doctor told me that many times, but what about it? Of course, doctors cannot know the reason for your anemia. Hey, Nissan, do you want to know the reason for it? Eh? My heart skips a beat. What I haven't known for all these years. This unstable body of mine. Akiya knows? It doesn't seem like you're joking. Right. If you want to know, then I will tell you. It is due to the sins of my family, so you have a right to know. For some reason, her words seem very dangerous. But I can't shake my head in denial after all this. I want to know. Please tell me, Akiya. I understand. Then I will tell you. I say that, but you already know most of it. After that accident 8 years ago, you became this way, right? So that has to be the root of all this. 8 years ago? You mean when I was almost killed by Shiki? Exactly. At that time, Shiki stole the majority of your life. After father carried out sentence on Shiki, he was kept alive in the basement, right? So Shiki is using your life in place of the life he lost to stay alive. That's why, Nissan. That's why you cannot move around freely with your own life. And as a result, you are always teetering on the brink of death. So as long as Shiki is alive, you will always be like this. You can never go back to the way you were before. What? On the edge of death? That's ridiculous. It can't be just anemia. Not being able to move freely and losing consciousness as frequently can't be called anemia. But just like she says, there's not much difference between this and drifting into death. That's what he was talking about with Kohaku before. Why? But I made it this far. If I live like this for 8 years, then I can surely... No. Until now, Shiki was locked away, so you were able to live barely. But now Shiki is going outside and is using your life to do as he pleases. The burden for whatever he does is on you, so you will not be able to live like before. Okay. My pulse surges. Her words hold nothing back. Since they are the truth, they pierce my heart like a sword even more. Nissan, if you want to hate someone, hate Shiki or the one who set him free. Because even if he is alive, if Shiki was quiet, this would have never happened to you. The one who set him free, yes. Oh dear. I see where she's going. She bites her lip as she says this. Is she that angry at Shiki for stealing my life? She bites so hard that blood flows from her lips. Akiya, but she isn't looking at me. She's staring into emptiness as if staring at an enemy. But rest assured, I will do anything to protect you, Nissan. So you can always smile. I will kill Shiki, you want to say? I remember my old man's journal. The responsibility of the head of the Tono household is to exterminate all those who stray from a human existence. Ah, that one night. Akiya was hugging me, desperately fighting back her tears. That time, I know she said those words. She said she didn't want to kill her brother with her own hands. She was crying, not being able to tell me that. It's fine. You don't have to feel any responsibility. No, I am the head of the Tono family. So all the crimes any member of the Tono house has committed, I will definitely... Hey, you don't have to make such a painful face. It's okay, this has happened before. Whatever Shiki does, I'll recover in a matter of days. So you don't have to worry. Nissan, you are just repeating yourself. I cannot bear you to be like this, not even knowing if you may die any minute. So I told you not to worry. Shiki is my responsibility. You don't have to do anything. Ni-san. Yeah. Akiya doesn't have to kill her brother. This is just between me and him. If the Tono blood is cursed and I've been forced into this ridiculous dance for 8 years, then I, with my own hands, will end all of this that started 8 years ago. Neither Kohaku-san nor Akiya should suffer any longer from that blood. Nisan, as she relaxed, she finally eases her shoulders. Thank goodness. You are definitely my Nisan. Just like 8 years ago, you only protect me. Her brimming eyes look directly at me. How do you say this? The atmosphere has become incredibly intimate. And, as if to spoil this great mood, Akiya's stomach lets out a growl. Come to think of it, Akiya stayed up all night watching over me. That moment kinda reminded of something that might happen in Fate's Stay Night. She must have been so worried over me that she didn't eat. I think I'm getting hungry. I try to follow her up. Jeez, I think I'm getting hungry. I try to follow her up. Jeez, I was so relaxed I let down my guard. Akiya gives an embarrassed excuse. Well, maybe it helped me out. I don't know what would have flowed from that mood. Akiya, I'm fine right now, so please rest. You took care of me all night, right? Yes. It was really nothing at all. I could not help you, and I only did the best that I could. That's enough. Heard it all from Hisui. Shout out to Stomach Rumbling saving us from Akiya route. I really am happy to have such a great little sister. Yes, then I suppose I will rest a little bit. I will come here again after dinner, so please rest and relax. Getting up from the chair, Akiya leaves the room. A light knock and the door opens. Oh wow, thanks for waiting. Shiki-san, time for dinner. Eh? Kohaku-san's arrival takes me completely by surprise. Huh? Kohaku-san? Yes? She tilts her head. I thought Akiya said she wouldn't let you near me. Still off kilter with surprise, I blurt out what I was thinking. Yes, I was ordered the same thing, but Akiya-sama and Hisui-chan do not know how to do an IV. Shiki-san, after dinner, you'll have to get a shot, you know. With her usual smile, she wheels in a cart and shuts the door. On top of the cart, there is food. On the lower shelf, there is a syringe and everything needed for an IV. Kohaku-san? First is dinner, right? Here you go, she says as she presents the meal on a platter. Kohaku-san's smile is full of contentment. How could I destroy it? Please act like before. I remember Hisui's words. Even I want her to keep smiling like this. I want to see her smile happily, just like this. I can't destroy that. Damn it. Well, I'll dig in. Yes? Please chew everything well. Lowering my eyes, I pick up my chopsticks. Kohaku-san stands nearby with that smile. It's all so sad, I just can't look at her. Clink, clank. The sound of my utensils echo through the room. Seeing her so close to me and smiling makes me want to kill myself. Why am I so sad? Kohaku-san is right here. The one I wanted to meet since yesterday is here, so there can't be any reason to be sad. Sadness is easy to see. Happiness is difficult to understand. For example, a girl who was locked away in the mansion since she was very young. A girl giving Tonoshiki her ribbon despite all that. The stupid me that spoke so happily about the past in this mansion. Such things cause me pain. Clink, clank. The sound of my utensils. Bringing my hands together, I thank her for the meal. As if she was so happy that I had seconds, she cheerfully takes the dishes. If that was true happiness, maybe I would be happy as well. That's pretty simple, isn't it? I suddenly find the reason for my sadness. There must be something wrong with me to not have seen it earlier. I just like this person. I love her to a point where I can't even imagine seeing her in pain. Seems I've finally realized this simple fact. Alright. Well then, a shot before your IV. Shiki-san, can you roll up your sleeve for me? I roll it up to the elbow. This won't be too painful, so just relax. Maki-isa-sama would sometimes fall ill too. So I've had a lot of practice, you know. She rubs my arm with a swab of cotton drenched in alcohol. I don't know what to do. Kohaku-san says Tono Maki-isa's name as if it was nothing. This perfect act, is there a reason for it? Come to think of it, you are always injuring yourself as a little kid. You would ignore Maki-isa-sama's scolding and run around the garden. He speaks nostalgically. Tss. I just can't look at her smile directly. For an instant, her smile changes from its usual form. It isn't her cheerful smile, it is a smile that comes from describing a distant, longed-for dream. But to protect the Kohaku-san of the present, I have to play along with this charade. That's right. But Kohaku-san, you also seem to be having a lot of fun. Yes, running around with you, Shiki-san. Yeah, it really was fun. Playing in the garden until sunset. But after it was all over, you would always get yelled at for being covered in mud. I hate this. I hate this so much. That's another act too. That smile is just fake. Yet you don't want to destroy that. So what will you do? Not being able to stand it anymore, I wrap my arms around this girl, speaking of her dream. I can't even hold on to her tightly. Shiki-san? Her questioning voice reaches me. I just wordlessly hold her close to me and stroke her hair. I can't let her see my face. I probably have a horrible expression. I can't meet her gaze, her sharp perception. If I did that, she would know that I know everything. But still, I try to hold back and bite my lip. Shiki-san? Does it hurt that much, Shiki-san? No, it isn't that. All I can do is grip with my fingers. I can't hold her tightly, but I want to embrace her as much as I can. That's no good, Shiki-san. You're a boy, so you have to endure some pain. Her arm brushes against my hair. She quietly rubs my head. That breaks my limit. It's okay. Shiki-san? Did you say something? Kohaku-san asks. No matter how much my mind screams at me to stop, the words just come out. It's okay. You don't have to smile any longer. Whoa. Oh, finally. Eh? It's okay. You don't have to force yourself to smile. My voice feelings spurt forth from my clenched lips. I like that. It just got to a point where you just couldn't take it anymore. Because, yeah, it's like so obviously she's forcing it, she's faking it. Being able to speak of Maki-isa so casually. Like, of course, she's forcing all this to the front so she doesn't have to feel this pain. Like, having to see herself as a doll just to keep it buried so deeply. But it's there, goddammit. So it's like, we gotta address this, man. And Shiki realizing his feelings for her, it was kind of like, okay, he's like, I suddenly realized this, but you know, he feels a lot of responsibility. He can't stand seeing her this way, knowing the truth, the promise that he made with her. It makes sense, man. I'm just like, fucking finally. Her hand stops moving. Kohaku-san freezes. She doesn't even breathe. What is this? I hear a noise. Oh dear, this is already being interrupted. Kohaku-san pulls away. Oh no, it looks like the IV spilled. Oh god. The usual smile. Unfortunately, the next one will not arrive until tomorrow, so we'll stop for today. Well then, Shiki-san, if anything happens, please call me. Yeah, and just like that, Kohaku-san pushes the cart as if nothing just happened. She leaves without opening the door. What was I doing? Acting like that and breaking my promise to Hisui. It's no different than Maki-isa. I couldn't even control my feelings. The open door flutters at me in ridicule. I think he's He's comparing himself way too much to Maki, so he's like, I can't condemn him because I hurt her the same way. No, the fuck you didn't, dude. Like, he is being way hard on himself. The open door flutters at me in ridicule. Wait. Kohaku-san left without opening the door? Wait, yeah, that line was weird. Because I was like, wait, the door was open. Or, wait, what the fuck? That's odd. I know Kohaku-san closed it when she came in. Wait, what? Why was the door open? That has to mean that someone was watching when I was hugging Kohaku-san. Yo! Oh my god, Akiya saw it. After dinner, I will return, Nissan. Oh, fuck. No. What is she about to do to Kohaku? No. That's what Akiya said. Akiya saw it. I ponder aloud. That wasn't really a big deal. So why do I have this whirlpool of uneasiness in my chest, like I just did something I could never take back? Oh, no. No. I don't like this one bit. Night falls. The clear daytime sky turns into a black dome. A swarm of clouds carouse around across the sky and obscure the moonlight. I take a deep breath and get out of bed. See? I told them I'd be better by evening. Pretty much better. There isn't anything to stop me from running about. I take my knife from the drawer. Alright, I place it in my pocket and psych myself up. The problems really have piled up, but I won't mistake what I can do and what must be done. The killer wandering the streets. Tonight I will have to end Shiki's wanderings once and for all. As her big brother, it's the least I can do. I can't allow Akiya to be forced into fighting her real brother. I have to stop Shiki while I can still move my body. Oh, this isn't about to be what Shiki thinks. I don't see Shiki anywhere under the clouded night streets. Damn. I guess I was thinking too optimistically. I thought I would meet Shiki if I just walked the streets at night. Even though I have never seen him, I thought I'd be able to meet him like two magnets coming together. It's probably better if I just wait somewhere instead of randomly walking about. The alley would probably be a good idea. I witnessed so many murders there in my dreams. It's probably the best bet if I want to find Shiki. That alley is cursed. Well then, I hide in the darkness and take a deep breath. Ready for an attack at any moment, I grip my knife. Oh man. Yeah, someone's gonna come, alright. Let's, oh dear. My heart is beating furiously. This may be imprudent, but my mind isn't out of control. Soon I will be battling Shiki. This will be extremely close to a fight to the death. I don't intend to kill, but the possibility of ending that way is high. Even still, my mind is calm. As watching those dreams truly desensitized me towards killing. The only thing that is normal is my heart. It is the only thing that feels the tension of the upcoming killing and beats a warning bell inside of me. Maybe it is the only true normalcy of Nanaya Shiki. Let out a deep breath. My insides are still overheating. Strange. My feelings are completely calm, so why is my blood racing to meet this vampire? Thump, 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 thump. Once before, I think I was searching for someone like this. I sense someone and instantly hide myself. The sound of footsteps. My pulse reaches new heights. The one who is coming is the one enemy I know I came here to defeat. The footsteps come closer. Only a few more steps. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps. I dash towards the enemy. The enemy suddenly whirls to face me. Oh, no. The enemy tries to jump back, but I am many times faster. Oh my god, no. This did not just happen. I swing my knife at the enemy's throat without the slightest hesitation. We just killed her. Oh my fucking god, we just killed her. Right before impact, I managed to pull back. Thank fucking goodness, dude. Oh my god. The knife breezes through Akiya's hair. We both take a deep breath and point at the other at the same time. My mouse being weird. Stay down there. Nissan, what are you doing here? Akiya, what are you doing here? Well, I guess it's pretty obvious we're after the same thing. It's not the Spider-Man meme, but for some reason it reminded me of it. Akiya looks at me with eyes almost brimming with complaint. I think she's still mad at me for hugging Kohaku-san, but I can't worry about that right now. Akiya, so what are you doing here at this time of night? Is it not obvious? I'm looking for Shiki so I can fulfill my duty as head of the Tono family. Akiya answers me. Akiya, I told you I'd take care of it, so there's no need for you to put yourself in danger like this. Didn't you agree to that? That may be true, but I changed my mind. Nissan, you seemed a little busy, so I thought I would go in your place. With a humph, Akiya looks away. Akiya, I won't ask what you're angry about, but isn't that a different matter? This is between me and Shiki. Akiya, I won't let you get involved in such a dangerous fight. Give it up. You are very naive if you keep saying that, Nissan. Look, even now your body is getting weaker. So I will do whatever it takes to make you better. I will not listen to you if you tell me to stop. Akiya looks intently at me. She's dead serious. What you say is right. Really am happy that you worry over me this much. But isn't it tough? Shiki is your, Nissan. You are the only one I call Nissan. Certainly this is a difficult task, but someone has to do it, right? I was raised to fulfill my duty as head of the Tono family, so all of this is under my own resolution. More importantly, Nissan, at your current health, what are you doing? Aren't you the one who is in danger from Shiki? Akiya adopts an incredibly commanding pose as she walks towards me with her finger pointed right at my throat. I unconsciously take a few steps back under this attack. Well, this tension de-escalated very quickly. See, you're already losing to me mentally. Look, you are just a normal human, so a monster like Shiki is too far above your level. I will escort you this night, but from now on, you have to take care of yourself. Akiya grabs my arm and walks off. But wait, Akiya, wait up. Oh, quiet. If you make a racket this late at night, you will just attract the police. I lose once again. Oh well. My body still isn't fully well, so I should just go back like she says. That's funny, we just go back. Wow. We do know that Shiki does get washed by Akiya. She just burns the fuck out of him, takes all his limbs off, and just... But if what we saw earlier is what's actually going to happen, if it's like a future like it said it was, I don't know, we'll have to see. Nissan, please go back to your room. I am also done for the night. Akiya turns away, still a bit perturbed. Her black hair swishes in the air. For no reason whatsoever, I see her and feel this incredible uneasiness. Akiya. Yes, what is it, Nissan? I can trust it, right? I say that without really even knowing what I want to trust in. Akiya looks surprised for a moment. Yes, you have not done anything you need to worry about, so please rest. He says this with a completely unclouded smile. Akiya walks away. My room is on the second floor in the western part of the mansion. Akiya's is in the eastern part. Does living under the same roof but being so far away make me that uneasy? With this lingering uneasiness that I still can't define, I open the door to my room. Oh, we're gonna see. I don't know. Locks of hair, okay. Day 10. I hear the voices of reed warblers. The distant moon. The night is dark, the veil of trees shrouds the entire world. The ground is jagged like the teeth of a saw. There isn't anyone around. All I can hear is the reed warblers. A black field. I instinctually feel homesick. As a child, a small child, I always played in this forest. I always go out in the dead of night. Since my parents and siblings feel uneasy about getting seen by people, we usually don't go out during the day too much. So this is just like any other day. I walk out of the garden alone into that forest and I encounter those people I don't know. The The black field is an even darker shade today. It isn't a natural darkness. It's as if it was being radiated from a dull lamp. The fresh carpeting of blood looks like wild berries. It is awfully hot. As I take each breath, it feels like I'm bringing fire into my lungs. The heat is as intense as summer. Is that why? I keep hearing those reed warblers in the chilled air. Wait, does Makihisa have has the same heat ability like Akiya? So I know this is that. The wild berries are strewn all over the field. In the middle, a single bright red eye. A stranger is standing in the field. It only has one eye. The eye shines with red light. Looking like it's floating in empty air, its very existence screams abnormally. Since there is only one eye, its color doubles. Compared to that eye, the fresh blood seems like the chrome yellow of a far-off mountain. A scarlet deeper than red. A name for that has been passed down in the Nanaya oral tradition. Crimson red vermilion. We heard that before. Is that Makihisa? But it's been passed down in the Nanaya oral tradition. A name that points to an existence that has awakened to the non-human blood of its ancestors. It describes a person whose ego is subsumed by a transcendental self and loses all sanity. It is said that the red evil eye is a sign of being possessed. Like a mirage, something shimmers behind it, laughing around aimlessly as if insane. It doesn't look like it's having any fun. With the reed warbler's cry, its body becomes hazy. It disappears as if eaten by the surrounding bush. A voice calls me from the distance. I'm scared to be alone, so I should go towards the forest. Within the veil of trees, I hear sounds like they are having a festival. Crash, crunch, smash, splat. Nanaya Shiki walks toward the back of the forest. After passing through the field, I think back about that redness I saw earlier. How pitiful. When did it become so tired and hazy like that? It seemed incredibly strong, but at the same time very fragile. After finding out that it doesn't have much longer to live, I continue towards the heart of the forest. God damn, I guess a family of demon hunters would have such an oral tradition. But that Makihisa was the one, man. God damn. He succumbed to his blood, and there he was. Crimson red vermilion. I opened my eyes to the morning sun streaming from my window. Hot. Super hot. My pajamas are drenched with sweat. It seems I had a weird dream. It was like that really old silent comedy film. I'm not too sure, but that one where that actor with the black derby hat and a mustache keeps getting in all sorts of situations. It was a dream where it felt like I was watching a movie. What an obscure reference. Come to think of it, I never did dream when I stayed at the Arimas. Actually, I never did dream since I was a kid. My doctor said that I sleep so deeply that I can't dream. Huh. And maybe the dreams I see since coming back to the mansion are actually my memories instead. There you go. That's funny. His doctor said he sleeps so deeply he can't dream. Because yeah, everything we see in his dreams is either memories or what he's seeing through a different lens. Someone else's lens. Wait, isn't that what you call a dream? Well, I'll leave these little things for scholars to debate. As a student, I should go to school. What is a dream versus reality? Alright, time to get up. I get up from bed. Yeah, I would say if you're dreaming about a memory, that's probably still a dream. Eh? Actually, my body does not move. Why can't I move? I clench my teeth and summon all my strength. The blood rushes to my head, causing dizziness, and I manage to lift my upper body. Hot. My body is on fire. Damn, this is worse than yesterday. Yesterday, my body was just heavy. But now, just moving my arm is incredibly difficult. I see if I can lift my arm vertically. I finally lift it up. Just doing this expends all of my energy and takes me about a minute. What's going on? This is like a dead body. Or maybe like a robot without any power. Either way, I can't move. But still, my mind is sharp and I don't feel any pain. Kohaku-san. I start to call her, then stop. Yesterday, I said those things while I embraced her. I don't know what Kohaku-san thought of that. I don't think she knows that I know about her and Hisui trading places, but it's still difficult for me to face her now. Hisui, Akiya, hey. I try to say come, but I stop. Speaking loudly brings another wave of dizziness crashing into me. Shouting requires muscle use, and that probably puts a strain on the blood to my brain. I breathe shallowly. All I can do is just wait like this until Hisui comes to wake me. In the end, I take off from school today. When Hisui came to wake me, she immediately turned pale and called for Akiya. As soon as she heard, Akiya came running, and I guess neither Akiya nor Kohaku-san knew what to do because they called the doctor in to perform an examination. As usual, it came up with nothing. As expected, Akiya ordered me to rest in bed afterwards. I gotta say, going to the doctor and them not finding the cause for what's wrong with you is so fucking, it's the worst. The sun sinks below the horizon. Lying on my side, I gaze emptily out the window. Damn it. I knew I should have settled things with Shiki last night, especially now that I became like this. While I'm like this, the number of victims will increase. No, even last night after I came back with Akiya, Shiki may have already sucked another person's blood. Was it the wrong decision? Last night. Maybe I should have stayed in that alley waiting for Shiki no matter what Akiya said. I have to go tonight. I can't cry over the fact that I can't move. I have to stop Shiki as soon as possible. I have to save up all my strength until tonight so I can do that. There she is. Shiki-san, are you awake? Kohaku-san opens the door and walks in. Kohaku-san. Yes, it's been a whole day, hasn't it, Shiki-san? She closes the door with a smile. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I suddenly feel awkward and look away. I can't speak to her directly now. Not only am I worried too much about Shiki, but I also haven't figured out an excuse yet for my stupidity last night. Shiki-san, why do you look so down? You really don't feel well? She looks into my face. No, that's not it, but... Blushing furiously, I somehow manage a calm response. This is bad. I said it would be difficult to meet her, but just seeing her face uplifts me. Since I could not see her for a whole day, just having her beside me makes me so happy. I forget about Shiki. Kohaku-san, I thought the IV was already done. All the same, I need to keep my distance from her. I broke my promise to Hisui and held her. I don't know what she thinks about what happened yesterday, but as for me, I finally realized how I feel. I have no clue what I'll do now if she's close to me. If there's nothing, please leave. If Akiya sees you, you'll be in trouble. I do have something. I thought that I would ask if you wanted anything special tonight to eat. To eat? Since I'm like this, I think something easily digestible would be best. Hehe, don't worry about such delicate matters, Shiki-san. The doctor said you could eat as you please. So tonight, I'll make you whatever you want to eat. I do have foods I like, but I think right now nutrition is more important than taste. I see, then something really nutritious. I have to get as much power. Oh. I see, then something really nutritious. I have to get as much power as possible to stop Shiki tonight. Huh? Stop yourself, Shiki-san? Kohaku-san confusedly tilts her head. Ah, crap. I let that slip without even thinking about it. Wait a minute. She has to know about Shiki. When Akiya was drinking Kohaku-san's blood, they were discussing Shiki. Ooh, I need to get a better chair, man. I'd definitely be able to record longer. Maybe next month. Even Hisui knew I was adopted, and there's no way Kohaku-san does not know about Shiki. I see, you know about it. Do I know what? Oh wait, I see you know about it. Do I know what? That I was adopted and that Akiya has a killer brother called Shiki. Her smile freezes. I see. Shiki-san, you found out about it. But that's just for an instant. Kohaku's act of history from the past doesn't crumble. But Shiki-sama is no longer in this world. You are the only eldest son of the Tono family now. I think it's best to forget about it. She keeps smiling. The same smile she had when discussing the evening menu. I want to forget it, but I can't. I can't forgive what the Tono blood did. My old man, he turned you into nothing more than a smiling doll. And I can't leave Shiki alone. As long as he is being a vampire, I can't ever be Akiya's brother. I can't give that girl back her ribbon either. This is the only thing I can do. I don't know how to save this person or erase the sin of Tono Makihisa. All I can do right now is to stop the killer Shiki and extinguish that Tono blood. I want to do this with my own hands. I can't leave him alone, but more than that, I want to help you, Kohaku-san. Idiot. I keep saying these stupid things. Thinking selfishly, thinking that I can save Kohaku by doing that. Such selfish things. What am I saying? But anyway, this is a problem of the Tono family, so I will end it. There's no need for you or Hisui to worry. Kohaku-san doesn't say anything. Her smile also ceases. Kohaku-san, did I say something wrong? No. Do you really mean that? What does she mean? Shiki-san, you know that Akiya-sama leaves the mansion every night? Yeah. It's her responsibility as head of the Tono family to look for Shiki. I told her to stop, but she doesn't listen. Here we go. I don't believe it. You didn't hear from Akiya-sama? Wait, Kohaku-san. Hear what? Here it comes. Kohaku-san doesn't answer. But she isn't acting normal. Even someone thick-headed like me can tell. Thump. My pulse starts to increase. Akiya-sama is lying to you, Shiki-san. Shiki-sama was not exactly a blood-sucking demon. It's the body warmth of others. Not the blood, but the heat. Thump. Thump. My pulse goes crazy. The combination of those facts and her serious eyes makes me imagine something bad. Wait. Please, just wait. That is, unconsciously something I avoided thinking about. Because yeah, the victim that was left alive the other night, when you followed her... Please wait. It's okay, you don't have to say anything. Shiki-san, the one known as Tonoshiki, is no longer in this world. Certainly Shiki-sama was a blood-sucking demon and killed people on the streets. But that is all over. 5 days ago, by Akiya-sama's hand, Shiki-sama was exterminated. Yo, that was real time. We saw it. Yeah, cause I mentioned last episode, like, it was after that where she was suddenly all smiley the next morning. Like she quote-unquote solved that problem, but no. Because things are still in motion. The plan is not stopped yet. Oh no. Oh, Kohaku. Confirmed. That dream. The dream of the killer being killed by Akiya. That wasn't what I saw. It was what Shiki was watching in his final moments. So yeah, we were completely in his mind for his final moments, man. God damn. That was what was happening. The Shiki that killed people and drank their blood is no longer alive. So that means all the recent incidents, they are all... Shiki is no longer alive. Long gone. The only one that is left. The true boss of this route. Leaving every night to walk the streets. The blood-sucking demon named Tono Akiya. Shiki-san? Ignoring her voice, I fly out of the room. Running. My body is engulfed in pain, but that doesn't matter. Oh dear. We gotta stop Kohaku's plan, man. We gotta stop this shit. Because I feel bad for Akiya too, man. Of course. Like, beyond her just own being upset about, you know, Shiki, you know, things not going her way with, you know, confessing to Shiki and how close Shiki is with Kohaku this time and her wanting to stop that. Like, her, like, being the one to go out every night, and I don't like how this is playing out, man. We gotta... But it's not gonna end here, because Shiki is gonna... He's just going. My body is engulfed in pain, but that doesn't matter. I don't think about anything. I don't want to think about anything. Until I hear the truth from Akiya's mouth, nothing else. Running. Running toward her room at the east end of the mansion. Breathing wildly, I open her heavy double door without knocking. I look around the room. Akiya elegantly gets up from her chair as soon as she sees me. What is it, Nissan? Entering without knocking is pretty rude, you know. I catch my breath as I stare at her. No, I'm definitely glaring at her without realizing it. Akiya senses the emotion in my look. Nissan, did something happen? I take one more deep breath and calm my breathing. Suppressing the pulse in my chest, I glare as I speak. Akiya, what is the meaning of this? Her face tightens. With just those words, she probably figured out what I was going to say. After staring at me wordlessly, she walks casually over to the windowsill. The deep sky. The red rays of sun glaring through the sky and into the room. Like 3 days ago, she turns her back to the crimson sky. I'm not sure what you mean, Nissan. Could you be a little more specific? Dizziness assails me. This is like the moment in the classroom. Is it just a trick of the eyes? I thought I saw something hazy around her. Danger fills the air. It must be the fault of that glowing sky behind her. Akiya's hair looks crimson and my whole body creaks. Nissan, if you don't say anything, I can't help. Or will you go back to your room and pretend nothing happened? Akiya giggles. With that, I understand she was really deceiving me all along. Akiya, why? You already know why I killed Shiki. I am the head of the Tono family. It is my responsibility to exterminate those who become controlled by the Tono blood. What I did was by consensus of the family, and even you wanted to kill him. The hairs on my body stand on end. What is this? Who is this person in front of me? Who is this that takes away my breath through sheer pressure? No, that's not what I meant. Oh, well then, there's no problem. Killing someone who isn't human isn't a sin, right? It is just like killing a dog that attacks people. It is on the same level. I said that it's not about that. What I want to say is, why did you hide it from me? Ah, that. It's boring asking me such an obvious question. Hey, Nissan, asking something you know the answer to is not a question but a confirmation. If that's the case, I can only nod. The air around her shimmers. The curtains waver like a mirage. Her long hair illuminated red by the setting sun. Freak? My body screams at me to kill her. You killed Shiki 5 days ago. Yes, Akiya nods. I should have known that was what happened in real time, because we haven't had any other, like, visions of Shiki since then. God damn it. Oh, I should have known. 5 days ago that night when she collapsed. Hugging me while she was crying, trying to hold something back. And the recent vampire incidents aren't the work of Shiki. They are all your doing. Yes, Akiya nods. The detached building in the forest where Akiya was sucking Kohaku-san's blood. At that time, Shiki was already gone and Akiya was still committing those acts. Kohaku-san even asked why Akiya wasn't satisfied with just her blood. She did say that. Why, Shiki was, but you don't seem strange. Yes, I am not like Shiki. It's obvious because I'm drinking Kohaku's blood so I don't become like him. Then, why aren't you satisfied with just her blood? You said it yourself, so why? Why are you doing the same things as Shiki? It is the influence of Shiki. This is my failure, Nissan. My power is not something that excludes anything or destroys. It is the power to plunder. I stole Shiki's life from him. Wait, what? But at the same time, it seems I also took in something not good. Wait, what? That's why? That's what happened? Jesus. Because I liked how we learned in Makiusa's room that Akiya's power, like, to give life and Shiki's to take life is, like, they kind of have the same ability. Like, they both can do it. But Akiya, in killing Shiki, took his life. And also took in the not good parts of it. And that's why it's not enough for her anymore. Holy fuck. So is she gonna succumb to her tonal blood this time? Like in one of her endings? Something not good. Something that wasn't in her before. Something that's in her now. Wait. Did she take in Roa? That's, how do I put this? Ever since I killed Shiki, I became unable to suppress my emotions any longer. I became unusually strong-minded, and my lust takes shape when I normally would have just kept it inside. So I guess I just became honest with the desires I held back for so long. I needed Kohaku's blood to maintain my body, but I was getting bored of that taste since I had been drinking it for a few years. Yes, you probably will not understand, but the first time I tasted the blood of someone other than Kohaku, it was simply amazing. Whoa. It was so delicious I thought I would go insane. She smiles from the bottom of her heart. This is nuts. The wavering mirage. The only time I sensed this danger was when No, that was Shiki. When Shiki was killed in that dream. Akiya, you. Don't look at me like that. I only stole their blood. Shiki took their lives as well, so you should not look at me like that, Nissan. I mean, it's one of two things. One, she took Shiki's life, so also like taking in his Tono influence, like his impulse as well. So also it's like adding on to hers. It's compounding, which would why she would need more blood. Either that, or maybe she took in Roa too. Because if you're taking in his life, if you plunder his life, you also take him with you, don't you? Since they kind of have this like pseudo fusion. But yeah, I mean it's one of the two, but only their blood. Akiya is neither defiant nor remorseful. It's one of the two or both. She just smiles as she looks at me and speaks as if it was a matter of course. I can hardly breathe. Akiya is enjoying this. I came to confront her, but it seems like it's just killing her boredom. What is this? This is like a killer truly enjoying insanity. Stop messing around. Why, Akiya? There's something wrong with you. Somehow warding off her gaze, I take a step closer. It must have worked because she swallows her words. You must know too, what you're saying isn't right. Oh, you must know too what you're saying isn't right. I take another step. After looking away peevishly, she bites her lip and glares at me. There's nothing wrong. I drank the blood of other people only for your sake. Eh? My legs stop. After she strongly bites her lip, she relaxes. Yo. I already told you. You were killed by Shiki 8 years ago. Dude, she wouldn't have to do this if she didn't give half her life to you, bro. That's true. Oh, what shitty circumstances. You are not of the mixed blood of the Tono family, but you are just a normal person. You did not have any power to live after Shiki stole your life from you. But I could not allow that. You were killed protecting me, so I was the one that should have died. I was saved by your bloody body. You were already dead, but you still protected me. I do not remember everything that happened afterwards clearly, but I just remember thinking only that it would have been better if I died instead of you. That wish was granted. See, it's like what happens in a fairy tale. Like giving your blood to dead birds and dogs so they can live again. My power is really the opposite, but I guess I put that curse on you. You miraculously recovered, and ever since that day I have carried a load. Come to think of it, it was only natural. It is because I shared half of my life with you, Nissan. And now we're getting the whole truth, man. The whole truth. Everything goes black. So I am alive because of Akiya. And at the same time, because of that, Akiya has to live with that terminal illness? Akiya, that time you had that fit, it was all my fault? Yes, as long as I keep you alive, I have to use the powers of the Tono blood. If I do that, my human blood becomes thinned. If it becomes too weak, I will become something less than human, just like Shiki. To prevent that, I have to only use the minimum of my powers. But if I do that, I can only maintain your life, and I can't support my own body. As a result, those fits occur. Sensing the danger, my body tells me to stop providing you with energy, or just become one with the Tono blood. It is only thanks to Kohaku that I have been able to resist it this long. As a synchronizer, she can strengthen one's will. I regularly drank her blood to strengthen the human part of Tono Akiya. Before I realize it, my whole body staggers. Akiya's sucking of blood. It's completely my fault. As long as I'm alive, Akiya has to live as the Tono. But I thought if I killed Shiki, it would be solved. If Shiki died, then he would no longer be able to steal your life. Ah, that's right. If Shiki is no longer alive, then I can have my life to myself, so I wouldn't be anemic anymore. Heh. But it really is funny. If anyone other than me had killed Shiki, then you would have been back to normal. Didn't I tell you? I stole everything from Shiki. Yeah, because she plundered it. God damn, dude. Including the life that he took from Nanaya Shiki. Jesus. I do not have the power to synchronize like Kohaku. What I stole, I cannot give to anyone else. He strangely gives a heartfelt smile in pure self-deprecation. I guess it's redundant to say including the life of Nanaya Shiki, because that was the life that was keeping Shikiroa alive, but yeah. Damn, dude. So that's why, like, when Shiki kills Shikiroa, then it's good. But because she did it, it's like, oh my god. After killing Shiki, I felt a weight lifted from me. Those spasms I had every evening did not occur, and I felt great. I do not need to say why, do I? Because in place of Shiki, I am now stealing your life. Wait, but I just took it, and I can't give it back to you, Nissan. Oh my god. Jesus, dude. Unlike Shiki, I do not have the ability to fuse. Right, that's part of his ability, that's right. Immortality and his fusion. But when she says it like that, it's like, god damn, dude. Like I felt a weight lifted. The spasms I had every evening were gone. Because he stole the life that he stole from Shiki. But she can't give it back, so it's like, welp. Yes, you were fused with Shiki. Certainly Shiki took away life from you, but it returned to you when he slept. That is no longer the case. That is why you have trouble moving now. That is why I have to continue supplying you with energy more than before. The mathematical equation of shared life force is now, like, just negatively hitting them both. Like, even more now. For that reason, I need to accumulate energy from people's blood, because now she has to get more blood. And now we're stuck in this fucked up situation. After saying this, Akiya walks away from the glowing red window. God, that was okay. That was worse than I thought it was gonna be. I thought she was being influenced by Kohaku and like part of her plan, but... And that still could have been the catalyst, but... The reason it's got bad to this point is because she plundered his life. Goddamn. Nissan, maybe I am just a blood-sucking demon, but it is all for your sake. And yeah, because Kohaku is the catalyst, because she's the one who spurred him to go out and kill, so... It all leads to this anyway. She still has her plan to have Akiya killed. Shiki's dead, so now it just has to be Akiya. So if Kohaku wants Shiki to kill Akiya, then... That works with her plan too. Nissan, maybe I'm just a blood-sucking demon, but it is all for your sake. Will you still not allow it? Not as Tono Shiki, but will you kill me as Nanaya Shiki? I don't know what to say. Whatever she says, I'm Tono Shiki. I won't become what I don't even remember as Nanaya. But my body is different. Just seeing Akiya causes all the strength in my body to coil like a spring. It's like it's trying to do something to the non-human Tono Akiya. No. It isn't about Tono or Nanaya. I just don't want you, as Akiya, to have to drink blood. I don't want you to be like Shiki. Nissan, I'm doing this for your sake. Don't you understand that? Even that time I told you how I felt and you didn't even say anything. I told you that I loved you, so why do you look at another woman? Oh, we're addressing this now. Oh my god. This fucking scene. But love? But that's like brother and sister. Even if we are not connected by blood, we're still siblings. Don't say such stupid things. It is not stupid. Because we are siblings, I can't love you. Her voice echoes through the room. Maybe the first time she's yelled like that. Akiya's shoulders rise and fall as she pants heavily and bites her lip regretfully. Akita. Nissan. I don't care if I become no longer human. If that means you can live, then I do not care what happens. So please, look only at me. I was always waiting for you. Now that you came back, do not betray me. Oh, this sucks. Her fingers tremble as she says this. She closes her mouth and awaits my response. Oh no. She wants me only to look at her. I didn't think Akiya with her pride would ever actually say that. But that's wrong, Akiya. Without a doubt, she is dear to me. Akiya saved me up until now. So I want to grant her wishes as much as I can. But still, she is my sister. Can't love her in any other way. Because the one I think of the most isn't her. Akiya. I think more than any other route, this is showing the true tragedy of being on one route versus the other. Like, I think you get a bit of that before with like Ciel and Arcueid, but I think this one more than anything is like, more than any of the others, you're really getting that. Akiya, I can't return your feelings. My special person is someone else. Akiya is calm as if she knew from the start. She closes her eyes quietly and distances herself. Her footsteps. She walks to the window. The wind blows her long hair freely. Oh, but Nissan, you do not have a choice. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Her eyes become glaciers. In that instant, my body collapses to the floor loudly. Yo, she's using her powers on Shiki. Oh my god, Yandere Akiya. Oh my god. Breathe. I can't breathe. This is worse than anything before. I really can't breathe. My arms, my legs won't move. How is it, Nissan? Returning to how it was 8 years ago. I can hear her laughter. Akika? I somehow managed to look up. Her eyes are filled with pleasure as she looks at my deteriorating, fragile situation. Oh my god! I told you your body is alive only because of me. Do you understand? I just have to think it and you will die. Wow, that reminds me of something in another Type Moon work. That would be a spoiler. That is the life of Tonoshiki, Nissan. Her voice reaches my ear like a whisper. Psst. My heat cools down. I feel like I'm rapidly tumbling towards death. My senses start to drain away and I'm scared that if I let my guard down, I will totally disappear. What she is saying is the truth. Akiya clutches my very heart in her hands right now. You're pretty strong-willed. I took enough energy away to cause you to pass out already. Her finger lowers. Her finger traces on my back. Ouch. Her nail finds the scars on my back. Beautiful. The cuts I gave you are still here. That night. Those marks she gave me when she was holding me and crying. Oh my god. So I will ask once more, Nissan. I am the most important person to you, right? Her whispering voice next to my ear. I am the most important person to you, right? My senses are just about completely gone. If I don't answer, I might die. Answer. I will not be gentle forever, you know. You've gotta be kidding me. Using her power like this on me, I won't cave in. Jeez, you really are strong-willed, Nissan. Her finger pulls away. I understand. I will give you until tomorrow to think about it calmly. Eesh, man. I know we were seeing the signs earlier in the route, like even before the route started, like Kohaku looking for Akiya, like, she around? We can't be seen together. And her just like, I don't want Kohaku around you. And her saying what she said to Kohaku last time. And her saying scary shit in the morning after like smiling really, really hard and just... I think the last morning we talked to her, she straight up said she would kill us. Oh, Jesus. And now she is holding nothing back. Eesh, how the fuck are we gonna get out of this one? Akiya walks away from me and picks up something that looks like a receiver. I don't think we do get out of this one. I think whatever the ending of this route is gonna be very, very bittersweet, but we'll see. Kohaku, come to my room. There is something I need you to carry. Whoa. Whoa, her voice sounds happy. I can't think what is Akiya doing? All I can understand is that Kohaku-san will be here soon. The door opens and Kohaku-san arrives. Shiki-san? I think she realizes I'm on the floor. She runs to me. Shiki-san, hang in there, Shiki-san. My mind must be really messed up. Kohaku-san, he sounds so tense. I don't believe it. Akiya-sama, what have you done? Nothing. I just showed Nissan how things stand. It seemed he would not understand unless I told his body. But I can't just let him lie here all night. So can you take him to his room? He will be in that state at least until tomorrow night. Akiya turns away. It seems like she's going to her bedroom. That fiery aura swirls behind her back like a mirage. Shiki-san. Shiki-san, can you stand? I can. That's what I meant to say, but I can't even do that. Kohaku-san lends me her shoulder. I hardly feel like I am alive, let alone able to walk. The cable that lets the human Tonoshiki move about seems to have been cut. Looking at my vision in pieces, it seems I have gone out into the hallway. Night falls. Tonoshiki is lying in bed. My wheezing drowns out the ticking of the clock. My body feels like every joint is bursting like a firecracker. Consciousness comes in shards. I am probably alternating between waking and fainting in between each second. It's because of that, I suppose. I don't know how long it's been. Feels like a week since I came back to my room. The clock pointed at the number 8 tells me that it is just an illusion. My breathing almost stops. When I had a terrible fever, it wasn't this bad. My body doesn't move, but my heart is racing. Thump, 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 thump. Akiya probably did this on purpose. I can't even move. My arms and legs feel crucified to the bed with iron nails. But still, if I want to, I should be able to move them a bit. Thump, 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 thump. My wildly beating heart seems to overpower Akiya's curse. My limbs are nailed down and it feels like my heart will burst out of this nailed down body. Thump, 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 thump. What is so exciting? Akiya with her red hair. Just thinking of that makes those immobile limbs somehow convulse. Probably my body would move to do one thing. Oh my god. Thump, 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 thump. What's in my head right now? Akiya horribly filled with pleasure earlier? That was certainly strange. Certainly she has that in her character, but that was just too much. It's like something that she doesn't even notice is controlling her. Thump, 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 thump. Did she absorb Shiki's madness? There had to be a reason for his insanity, and maybe Akiya consumed it without knowing it. That's what I'm saying, dude. Oh my god, you guys don't know. You guys don't know. It's not just the tonal blood. If that is the case, it's just the same as Tono Makihisa, just kill, 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 kill. Shut up. I try to suppress my raging heart. Jeez, what am I being so excited about? If I keep going through this cycle, won't I actually start to feel that way? Kill, 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 kill. My throat hurts. My body creaks. Don't you get it? I can't oppose her with this body. If you want to kill that, then shut up for a second. If you do, I will certainly destroy that demon without you telling me so. No. What? Like how whatever. Thump. 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 The mad pounding continues. I faintly cycle between blankness and awareness, dream and reality. I can't last until tomorrow. If this keeps up, I'll go insane first. Well, that went well. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Next time, we keep going. Peace.